Welcome to the second hot heist movie in our Forest Film Festival, The Lavender Hill Mob, made at Ealing Studios, London in 1951, directed by Charles Crichton and starring Sir Alec Guinness and Stanley Holloway. A young newcomer named Audrey Hepburn has a tiny credited cameo appearance as Chiquita, and Robert Shaw makes his first film appearance as a lab technician, Hepburn being seen early in the film. The screenplay was written by T.E. Clarke and the music by French composer Georges Auric. Like the Thomas Crown Affair shown last week, this is also a movie about a bank robbery. Only now we're in the world of post-World War II British comedy, with a scheme perpetrated by a small-time bank employee who decides to see if he can steal a load of gold bullion from the Bank of England. Clarke came up with the idea of a bank employee robbing his own institution when he was researching jewel thefts for another film. He actually consulted officials at the Bank of England on how best to pull off the robbery. The movie was popular with both British and American audiences, earning $580,000 in U.S. rentals. It won the 1951 Academy Award for Best Writing Story and Screenplay, and the 1951 BAFTA Award for Best British Film. Alec Guinness appeared often on the stage in his early career, but shifted to film acting after World War II, making several films for Ealing Studios, including Kind Hearts and Coronets, 1949, The Lavender Hill Mob, 1951, for which he received his first Academy Award nomination for Best Actor, and The Lady Killers, 1957. He went on to star in many more films, including The Bridge on the River Kwai, 1957, for which he won both the Academy and BAFTA Awards for Best Actor. Late in his career, he said that the comedian Stan Laurel was an early influence on him as well. In turn, Guinness himself was much admired by another comedian, Peter Sellers. He was an actor of incredible range, playing everything from Shakespeare to a World War II military officer, Lieutenant Colonel Nicholson, in The Bridge on the River Kwai, to Dylan Thomas in Dylan on Broadway in 1969, to Obi-Wan Kenobi in the Star Wars trilogy, to the Cold War spy Sweeney in Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy in the TV series in 1979, to the robber bank clerk Henry Holland in The Lavender Hill Mob, our movie today. And he won not only an Oscar and a BAFTA, but also a Golden Globe and a Tony, was honored with a star on Hollywood's Walk of Fame in 1960, and an Oscar for Lifetime Achievement in 1980. He remained active until shortly before his death in 2000. The man could and did do everything. Stanley Holloway, 1890 to 1982, who plays Pendlebury, the souvenir maker and Guinness's sidekick in today's film, is best known to American audiences for his international breakout role as Audrey Hepburn's father, Alfred B. Doolittle, in My Fair Lady, 1964. He had little formal acting training except in singing, learning on the job, mastering comedy monologues and songs in the English music hall style, and doing some stage and film work along the way. Some of his characters from his monologue days became beloved figures in English popular culture of the mid-20th century. During World War II, he made propaganda films on behalf of the British Film Institute and Pathé News, and appeared in several film dramas. After the war, Ealing Studios beckoned, and there he connected with Alec Guinness to make magic in The Lavender Hill Mob. Then along came My Fair Lady, for which he was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Feature Actor in a Musical. In a review of the movie, The Manchester Guardian, Alistair Cook said that Stanley Holloway distills into the body of Doolittle the taste and smell of every pub in England. Charles Crichton, 1910 to 99, who directed today's film, is less well known to American audiences. However, he had a 40-year career in film directing and editing, and is best known for directing several films for Ealing Studios after the war. American audiences may know him as the director of A Fish Called Wanda, for which he received Academy Award nominations for Best Director and Best Original Screenplay. He was also the original director of Birdman of Alcatraz, but quit over a dispute with Burt Lancaster, who's the star of the film. Georges Auric, the film's French composer, was a fine musician who studied under a disciple of César Franck's at the Paris Conservatory, where he learned the German style of symphonic composition and came to know the likes of Eric Satie, Jean Cocteau, Darius Milhaud, and François Poulenc. By the 1930s, he began to write film scores, including the one for this film. His first U.S. film score was for Roman Holiday, with Audrey Hepburn, made in 1953. All told, he wrote about 130 film scores, making him one of the most prolific of contemporary Hollywood film composers. A short summary of the plot. As the movie begins, Henry Holland, played by Alec Guinness, is dining with a companion in a Rio de Janeiro restaurant. He describes his attempt to rob the flagship London office of the Bank of England of a large shipment of gold bullion bricks. The story continues in one long flashback as Holland tries to develop a scheme to rob the bank, transport the gold out of England in a hidden form, and then reap the rewards of his labors. He first hooks up with Pendlebury, who lives in Holland's downscale London boarding house, to create a disguise for the gold bricks. Soon, the would-be robbers realize they will need help executing their plot, so they set out to recruit a gang of henchmen. Together, the little mob manages to abscond with the loot, transports it to Paris, and turns it into good old-fashioned money, which they hope to spend. It's a comedy of errors all around. Fun facts about the film. The title refers to Lavender Hill, a street in the Battersea district of South London. Many locations in London and Paris appear in the film. The Bank of England, the London Underground Bank Tube entrance, the Bromley Arms pub in Notting Hill, Queen Victoria Street, the scene of the bullion robbery, the RAF Airbase, Northolt. In Paris, there are extensive scenes of the Eiffel Tower and the Seine riverbank. During the car chase scene, a policeman reports seeing a man in a top hat driving one of the getaway cars. But it's really a policeman dressed in hat and suit of an authentic mid-19th century bobby or peeler police uniform. So called because Sir Robert Peel established the London police force at that time. Holland and Pendlebury run down the steps of the Eiffel Tower, a scene which is thought by some critics to be the inspiration for Alfred Hitchcock's scene in Vertigo, 1958, in which Cary Grant follows Kim Novak down the dizzying steps of a California mission tower. Hitchcock was known to be a devotee of Ealing Studios films. Upon their arrival in Paris, Pendlebury recites the words, "Gay, sprightly band of mirth and social ease," which is a quote from the 1765 poem The Traveller by Oliver Goldsmith, no relation. Finally, Guinness was paid only £6,000 sterling instead of his usual fee of £25,000. Things to look for: Audrey Hepburn and Robert Shaw in their cameos. Evidence of World War II bombing remaining on London's streets. The Bank of England building, the Bank Tube station entrance, scenes in Queen Victoria Street, and the Peeler police outfits. So now it's time to show the Lavender Hill Mob. Sit back, have a snack, and enjoy this charming little English caper. Please remember there may be a bit of a delay before the film comes on. Be patient, hang in, and the film will roll.